admittedly, I'm populating my life with some priorities that maybe shouldn't be the top priority.
Yeah.
And I've talked about this before. Like, I kind of want to get this stuff out of my system. I want to chase down these dopamine tendencies.
Yeah.
And start building some momentum, getting back into the laboratory and crafting some stuff that I'm really excited about. But I don't want to lose the aspect of chasing some of those things, whether it's again, records and physical media or vintage clothing
You've got to have
or whatever. Because
you can't lose that. I feel like this is like my observation. Sorry to cut you there.
Yeah,
but
no, it's good.
That's your source. Like, you talk about the source, like
Yeah.
that is you. That's where you're pulling a lot of stuff from. You're pulling a lot of good from that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if you cut that off because you're like, oh man, that's just indulgent. It's like, what are you going to swing the other way? Like, that's what's grounding you.
Well, it's fuel. It is.
Yeah,
It is a lot of inspiration. I just want to be careful that I'm not letting like a little bit too much obsession or compulsion come into the sense where it's like, well, you're not really making like you're making indulgent decisions. You're spending too much money. Or, like you're giving up too much of the pie of time and effort to some of this stuff, which might be a little bit frivolous. It might be a little bit. It might be more than you need to be doing to have a nice like pool of inspiration and vibrancy in your life. Now, I will say, and I had another realization, don't have to go spend a ton of time on this, but the amount of third places I've developed from chasing these things down, and while some of the relationships at these third places aren't,
define third place too.
So third place for everybody, your first place is your home. Your second place is typically where you work. A lot of times now home. And this is part of a problem for some of us is that first and second place are blended together now. And so this creates, especially the internet and our ability to stare at the magic rectangle and disconnect from reality.
Love me some magic rectangle.
Yeah. And not go out into the real world. We lose our third places. So third places are like the coffee shop, the record store, and all that, where you have relationships with people that maybe you don't see in your first or second places, but they are relationships that you have there, and they're strong connections. It may not be like carrying over into where you go see a movie together, you go out to dinner, you hang out like you and I do as friends. But the relationship is defined by that place.
It's like the work buddy, but like it's a different version of that.
Yeah. It doesn't really
like the acquaintance who you're like you totally are.
You look forward at work.
Yeah.
Like the relationship is really contained by the place where it exists, and it doesn't really break that container. So for 2024, the thing that's been very fulfilling to me is getting to know all these people, people at estate sales. People that I've met at the thrift stores that I go to, whether they're the employees or other thrifters, especially the vintage people, the record shop, and getting to know the people that work at the record shops or the people that go to the record shops. All these connections, people, workshop down in the old market, and Stefan and Trey. But then also, and Josh at Modern Mayhem, but then also like learning about them and connecting them with stuff that is inspiring to them, whether it's like, Trey, and I hooked him up with this camera, or Josh, a Polaroid camera that he, wanted to take to Italy with him. Even with you, and you're not a third place friend, but like getting inspired to bring you that plate, or, other things that you just like, you're out in the world and you're like, oh, Alex would really love this, or Josh would really love this, or whatever.
The Scorsese book.
Yeah, the Scorsese book. And
so much good stuff. Yeah.
Like it's so exciting to meet these people and have like my curiosity, of course, which fuels me significantly, and just asking people, well, what's your background? What's your story? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Why are you interested in this? I love the connections that I've made at those places. And while I maybe don't need to spend as much time as I've been spending at them, I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
Like I want, like the people that I know at the estate sales, like I want that to be a part of my life, and maybe I don't go every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this and that. Yeah. But just be like, I'm going to roll in on Sunday see my friends.
It's nice to have like brackets to your life.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to have things that you can count on.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily routine, but Maybe it is.
Yeah. Well, just like walking into a room and people recognize you and they're happy to see you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice.
It's that was one of my big things for 24, and we don't have to. We're already almost out of time, so we should probably wrap it here. But just man, get outside, talk to people.
Yeah, put down the magic rectangle.
Yeah, like most people are just kind and just like want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And we build all of these like online personas, and then we project them onto everybody we see in the real world.
Yeah.
It's like most of the time that's just horseshit. Like you can totally just have a conversation with somebody or just like say hi.
Yeah.
Well, what's going on with you?
And
I think it's easy to forget how we're all just human and like we're in the world together. It's easy to take all of these grand narratives that are constantly advertisements and whatever, and kind of project that.
The noise.
This is the world.
Yeah.
It's like that's not the world. The world is different.
Right.
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer.